Hey everyone, welcome back to part 24 of my Create Mod series. Now today I'm going to go over on how to make an auto drill inside of the Create Mod. So this is going to be a drill that will start at a certain Y level, go in one direction, and it's going to stay on that Y level. So you can set up on Y level 12 and just go for diamonds if you would like. If you were looking for more of a quarry style video, I've also made that. That will pop up on the screen right now that you can check out. And also if you're looking for a miner specifically for the nether, so mining netherite, you can also check out that video. That is going to be linked on the screen right now as well. But anyways, if you come to just looking for an auto miner, you've come to the right place. Let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. So if we open up this chest, this is everything that we are going to need. Now, I'm going to go over a lot of this stuff and not show the crafting recipes. That's because we've done this in many episodes prior. If you need any recipe, I recommend using Not Enough Items or hopping in my Discord and I can give you the recipes personally. But we are going to need 1 mechanical plow, 9 mechanical drills, 22 deployers, 18 linear chassis, 1 thing of super glue. You can use slime for about 3/4 of it, but you are going to need super glue for 1 section of it. A cart assembler, a seat is going to be optional. I'm going to show you how to attach a seat to this machine so you can actually ride the machine and not have to run after it. And a controller rail. Now, the controller rail is not the regular rails inside of Minecraft. The controller rail is a create block, so keep that in mind. This is a different rail. There's also 6 chests. There's rails here. You don't necessarily need a stack. You could probably get away with just a couple of them because our machine's going to auto pick up rails and continue to move as it is mining. So I have a stack here just to exaggerate it, but keep that in mind. We also have a minecart. We have a stack of cobblestone. You could probably get away with about 30 cobblestone, but I'm showing cobblestone in a flat world, so it's not going to be able to pick up cobblestone, so I need more than what it would be in a normal world. And then a lever. You'll need a wrench in order to rotate some objects and set some settings. You need any type of pickaxe, and then I have glass blocks just to build up if I need to build up to anything. Quick thing, I know I've never gone over seats. A seat is a slab and a piece of wool, and then you can dye it with absolutely any type of dye to change the seat. But anyways, let's grab these items and we will get started. All right, so the very first thing we are going to do is place down a controller rail. And a controller rail is really cool because we can use a redstone signal to set the strength or the speed of the machine. And that's going to be super important, especially if we're playing on a server or maybe a laggy single player world. This is going to be able to set a specific speed. You'll kind of see that as we're using this machine. Next, we're going to place a cart assembler on top. We're going to grab our linear chassis and we're going to place 1 super glue, 2 super glue, 3 super glue, 4, and 1 more, just like so. And then we're going to place 1 backwards. So placing it underneath, and this one does not need super glue to connect these two. We just need super glue here. And from here, we're going to take our mechanical plow and attach it. So this part of the machine, the rails are going to be on the ground, the plow is going to run into them and pick them up and place them back into its inventory. So it can go for a pretty good amount of time. Next step, we're going to go to the front of this machine, super glue once, linear chassis, super glue twice, linear chassis, and then we're going to make a 3x3 on these blocks. So we'll just place these down very quickly. Then we're going to place, let's do super glue on these 9 right here. Now make sure not to double click, because if you accidentally slime the other side, that's not what we're looking for at this very moment. There's certain blocks we don't want to slime yet, but we're going to take our mechanical drills and we're going to place our drills here. So look at that. We built a very basic miner that will go in one direction and mine blocks. The only thing is not accounting for any kind of water, any kind of lava, any kind of caves, anything like that. It will screw up if it goes through it. So that's going to be our next step. But before we do that, let's go ahead and super glue these 3 right here. Super glue that 4th one. This one up top, we're going to take 1 deployer and we're going to place it like this. And we want our deployer to have its hand facing downward. Now, I know you can't see the hand. It's actually glitching into the linear chassis. That's totally fine. It will actually be able to place the blocks through the linear chassis. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a rail and we're going to set the filter by clicking on that little yellow square right there. So you can see that there's now a rail filter on it. So this deployer can only place rails, and it's going to place it on the ground as the machine is moving, and it can keep going. So now that we have this set to place rails, we need an area to store our rails and store other blocks. So we'll place down 3 chests, throw our rails inside. We're going to go to the other side and we'll super glue 1, 2, 3. And throw our chests inside as well. Now we're also going to put a little bit of cobblestone in here eventually, but we're not going to do that just yet. So let's go to the front of the machine now, because we have our drills, but we still need a way to account for lava, water, or anything along those lines. So what we're going to do is place a linear chassis off of the middle linear chassis, then superglue, place another one, and superglue, and place a deployer. So now you're probably realizing what we're doing. We're actually going to create our own blocks to fill in any gaps that we need. So all we're going to do is continue to place these blocks in front of these drills, and make sure you're not gluing them to the drill, you're gluing them to the deployers. And this is going to make it so that the drill is not going to mine the deployer, but the deployer is going to place blocks. It sounds a little wacky, but you'll see what I mean. All right, so I've placed all of the deployers, and you can see that we have our original 3x3 right here, and then we have 3 blocks out on every single side of our deployer. So just to give you a little bit better of a reference, you can see our drills are all in the center, and then we have 3 deployers placed on the outside of every single one. Now, a real quick thing to make sure that you have not done is we should look at all of these hands, and they should have the finger pointing out. If it looks like this with a fist, that means it's going to break blocks or punch blocks instead of actually placing them. So an easy way to fix that is just to right click with your wrench and make sure they're all super glued together. Make sure they're not super glued into the ground. And yes, these 3 are going to be at ground level. This is going to account for any missing blocks on the rail level. Once we do this, let's go ahead and fill in as many blocks as we can, or actually, hold up. Let's break these 3. But we are going to fill in these blocks in a second. We forgot one crucial step, and that's that we have to set the filters to every one of these deployers to be cobblestone. Now, what this means is out of all of the blocks that it is going to mine, it's going to mine a ton of stone. And it's going to use that stone to fill in any gaps that it runs into. So of course, just using cobblestone is an easy way to do that. So we're just going to set the filter. This doesn't use up blocks, it's just setting the filter. Make sure to not do what I just did right there. You don't want it to sit in the hand. That means that it's placing that block. That does not mean it's set the filter. So we're just going to set all these filters really quickly. All right, filters have been set. Next up, fill in the blocks, actually this time. And then we're going to move around the side because we got to do a little bit of configuration. Because it looks like it's up and running, but right now we're going to have this machine interact with a ton of blocks that we do not want it to interact with. So what we are going to do is start by looking at this top left chassis, hold left control, and turn this down to 3. This is now going to only interact with 3 blocks out in each direction, which is perfect. Then we're going to look at this one that's set to 8, and we're going to set this to 1. We're going to run around the outside. Over here, we'll set this to 1 block. Set this one to 1 block so it interacts with the plow. This to 2, this to 3, this to 4, and this to 5. So there we go. We've done all that configuration. So now we have one optional step. And what that is that we can superglue the back of this machine, take our seat, and just connect it to it. And now if we right click, we can actually sit on our machine. And this is going to be super helpful once our machine starts to move. All right, so our next step is to open one of these chests, and we're going to throw our cobblestone in. Now, I've grabbed tons of stacks of cobblestone. Again, because we're in a flat world, I want to show you that it actually works. And then after we show it in the flat world, I'll actually hop into a regular world to show you it working on an actual Y level 12 with a machine. But we're just going to throw extra cobblestone in. Again, you probably only need about like 30, if not less, cobblestone. But anyways, next step is we're going to take or I almost forgot a really crucial step. We're going to look at this cart assembler. And right here, you could say cart movement. It says always facing, I believe, facing direction in the movement or something like this. We want to scroll wheel down all the way to lock rotation. Now, this is a huge step. Please do this. If your machine messes up at all, locking rotation means that it will just always face in this direction. If you don't do this and let's say it runs off a rail or something like this, the machine will spin around and it can kill you in survival mode. I have done it before. I've done it in a live stream. I've done it in recordings. It's not fun. Please keep this at lock rotation. You just use a wrench to change that. Next step. We're going to place a minecart right inside, and now we're going to activate it. Now, before you activate it, if you're building this completely just in order, let me activate it. I'm going to show you a little issue you're going to run into, and from there, you can actually fix it. So we're going to place a lever right on the side, and we are going to activate it. Now, you're going to see our machine move a couple blocks forward, and then you're going to watch it stop because it's run into a little hole. And I know you're probably thinking, Rocket, you said that this was going to account for any types of holes. This hole right here is from our front 3 deployers that are going to build the path everywhere in basically the correct distance. So what we got to do is simply just take our dirt and place it underneath the hole, take our controller rail, place it underneath the cart, and activate our lever. And now it will all get picked up and placed into the chests, and it will keep moving as well. So just to show you and how this is working, as we run around our machine, you can see it's building an encased wall of cobblestone around the entirety of the machine. And if you look inside, you can see that it's built this nice tunnel. So if we were on Y level 12, we'd be able to pick out the ores and everything along those lines. Now, let me show you something really quickly. If you want to pick up your machine, you're going to shift, right-click with a wrench, and you can pick up the entire contraption. Now, as you can see, this is how we're going to build our walls. So let me hop into regular Minecraft and a regular Minecraft survival world. And from there, I can show you how it works on Y level 12. All right, so I've hopped into a survival world. I actually just did this entire recording and didn't record. So we're going to try this again. Right here, we have our cart assembler. We have our rail that we have placed on the bottom, and we have our levers. So this is going to show you on how to place your contraption absolutely anywhere in your world. So we have this setup up. You want to make sure, again, that we're on lock rotation. We do not want to be on any of the other settings. And we're just going to place our minecart contraption inside. Now you can see that we can actually interact with all of these blocks now. Now, there's going to be items in here. You can see we have our rails, a little bit of cobblestone. And if I go to the other side, you'll actually see that it's actually mined some things already from me accidentally doing the recording without actually recording. So anyways, of course you won't have those items, but this is how you can pick up your items after it starts mining. So we're going to go ahead and activate this guy. We're going to let it move a couple blocks forward, and then it's going to run into that issue of getting stuck right here. So let's go ahead and just grab some cobblestone, and we will fill it on in, just like what we just did before. We just need to go ahead and grab these blocks right here, grab our controller rail, and we have our lever. So we'll place that down like so, grab our lever, and we will activate it, and it's going to start mining. Now, you're going to see it's going to keep going. We can also right-click on the seat and basically just ride in this machine. You can see we've already found some redstone. You can even place blocks while you're on the seat. So you can technically just sit here, let it mine, and just hang out with the torches. You can also strip mine while you're against this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward or cut to when I find diamonds to show you that this actually works. So we've actually just run into our first diamond right down here, but I want to show that we're also finding iron. We've found redstone. We technically have gold where we've started, but you could find a bunch of different ores. You could also see that right here we must have run into some kind of issue, and I'm going to assume because we hear water, there's probably water behind this, and it auto-patched it up for us. And you can see it even started to do it in this big patch of whatever craziness this was. It went right through it and patched it up. You might also see your minecart light on fire at times. That's fine. It won't burn. It'll be fine. If anything, it gives you a little bit of a light source. That's a benefit. But I also want to point out that I'm on Y level 11, and I've done this on purpose because we do have the 3x3 drills, if you remember correctly. So that means that it's mining on Y level 11, 12, and 13. So 3 really good areas to go ahead and find diamonds. But there you go. That is basically it for this video. So I'll let this mine while I do my outro. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, definitely feel free to go ahead and drop a like. Definitely feel free to subscribe. Please go ahead and check out my Discord. I always am posting new things in there. Sometimes I post sneak peeks to upcoming videos. And then on top of all of that, we have a lot of competitions. We just ended one actually a couple days ago. So definitely feel free to check that out. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next one.